Today's trivia question is, which French female chemist and physicist received 2 Nobel Prizes? We'll have the answer at the end of the show. Which French female chemist and physicist received 2 Nobel Prizes? And that was Marie Curie, but she was also known as Madame Curie.
All right, so hope that you got that or were trying to get that. You know, if you do get the answer, make sure you call in. I will say Marie Curie was a major inspiration to me as a youngster. I found out about her, that she was, you know, this amazing female scientist, and really inspired me to become a scientist. Didn't happen, but I was really inspired by her for a long time. A couple of really cool things about her. Even though she was the top student at her high school, or whatever they would have called it, she was not allowed to attend the top university in Poland. So she was from Poland, and she wanted to go to the University of Warsaw, but couldn't because she was a woman. Okay, and so then, you know, she actually became a student in a college, and she actually was suffering because you hear the starving college student thing. Well, she actually was. She only had bread and butter and tea, and she really suffered from malnutrition when she was studying.
That's dedication.
I think so too.
That is dedication.
I think so too. When she met her husband and they started to work together, he actually, great feminist role model here, he put his work on the side and said, you know what, Marie, I'm going to help you. This sounds pretty interesting, and I want to learn more about radioactivity. And so they actually started working together. And then she gained that Nobel Prize in 1903. The other one was actually awarded after she died. So she actually got a lot of honors after she died, which is kind of sad but cool, because people still recognize, you know, what the great work that she did. And not just because she was a woman, she was actually doing really great things, and people recognize that.
There were elements named after her.
Yeah, which elements?
As well. Curium. And
she named polonium and radium. Her work, one of her Nobel Prizes was, I believe, for discovering radium.
Yes.
The other one had to do with radioactivity, basically discovering and analyzing radioactivity. So for those of you out there thinking, we're just talking about her because she's a woman. No, she actually discovered some really important stuff. Radioactivity has essentially become almost its own field of study.
And polonium she named after the fact that she is from Poland.
Polish. So you might be confused. You've noticed that it said that which French female physicist. It's because, as I recall, she did her work in France, but she was Polish born. Yeah. And so as a result, she's Polish, polonium, but she did a lot of her work in France, as I understand.
Polish-French.
Yeah,
Yes.
Polish-French.
Yeah.
French-Polish.
But the other thing that we haven't mentioned that's maybe the saddest, but also kind of the most interesting, is her work was her demise. She spent so much time with radioactive material and radium that she got radiation poisoning. And this made me think of, here's an illusion for you. I was just reading this really great book called Wild. That's a movie, and it's by Cheryl Strayed. But one of the quotes that she uses a lot in the book, she references a lot of writing, poetry, and things like that. But one thing that continues on is this poem by Adrienne Rich, where the very last lines, the poem is about Marie Curie, and it's called Power. And the very last line is, she died a famous woman, denying that her wounds came from the same source as her power. And I think that that's really cool. A lot that can be used in many ways, and you can interpret that as you will. But Marie Curie gained power as a female, as a scientist, and that power caused her to die. Her wounds came from the source of her power. And so I think that line is really cool, and it just, when we started talking about Marie Curie today, I was like, oh, light bulb. That made me think of that Adrienne Rich poem. So cool lady, you know, do some research about her, because I think that you'll be surprised by some of the stuff that you find out.
she really did dedicate her life to science and to furthering the world. So pretty amazing lady for sure.
Definitely.